Welcome, everybody, to the New Jersey Wedding Podcast. This is the thing to listen to when you are planning a wedding in New Jersey, whether you're here or maybe you're somewhere else in the country, but this is going to make it easier. I'm Celia Milton, the lead officiant for NJ Vows Now. We cover North Jersey, and my friend and colleague, Andrea Pertel, who covers the rest of the state. From what
Yep.
about exit 102 down? I'm giving them
Yeah.
all to you. We have this great little series going on hotel weddings, and we've started with some of the beautiful venues at Hotels Unlimited. We
Hmm.
did the Sterling Ballroom, dropped on Tuesday. Fun interview, very fun. We talked to Anjelica from the Windsor Ballroom in East Windsor today, and that'll be airing in a few minutes. And I was just struck by, people have this sense of what like a hotel wedding might look like. And I was so impressed by their menus and the inventiveness of they call them accessories, I think, their drink stations and dessert stations, and just I was really impressed. And the people that we spoke to were so fun, and so they seemed like so into having these weddings there. Didn't you get that feeling too?
Right, right. Angelica, well, with both of them so far, absolutely. And we
Hmm.
just finished our interview with Angelica at the
Yeah,
Windsor Ballroom, and you could tell that she loves what she does. You can also
absolutely.
tell from the reviews. Many of the reviews
Yeah,
mention her specifically. From the
yeah.
moment I met Angelica and she gave us the tour and all of that, she did say something interesting because when you think of like a hotel, this is a Holiday Inn, that people think, oh, a hotel that has a
Yeah,
banquet room, and that happens to do a wedding in their banquet room. She said they are a wedding venue first that has
right.
accommodations, overnight accommodations, hotel accommodations. They have a really great chef. Again, the reviews talk about the food, which is
Hmm.
something you'd think like, it's really, you got to, if you're looking for the hotel ballroom experience for your wedding, that kind of traditional, you
Hmm.
really should start looking at these hotels unlimited.
Yeah.
I think they're great. And the
Yeah, I was
Windsor
very
Ballroom,
impressed.
yeah,
Yeah.
and out there in East Windsor, the very close to Hamilton, very close to some really beautiful places to take pictures, like say in gardens, but they also have
Absolutely.
their outdoor courtyard for weddings. I've been there for weddings before. I very much love going there. I've done weddings there, and I did a baby blessing out in their courtyard once
Oh,
for
that's
a
so
couple
cool.
that I had done a wedding for. Um, but yeah, I really like the way they call it their accessories, because we talk so much about personalizing your ceremony. Um,
Hmm.
and your whole wedding actually. So you can get your package, and then you can personalize it based on your budget.
Yep.
You can go in and choose what accessories or add-ons you would like to
Right.
add to your package.
They had a
And
lot of really interesting stuff that I just would not, I
yeah.
wouldn't associate, probably because I just haven't looked at any of these websites recently. Just it would not occur to me that they were, okay, I want the bubbly bar. I believe I mentioned that before. I want it in my living room and I want it now. They're so creative, and having a venue. You mentioned something about the people, and we talked to, two of their coordinators so far at two different places. They really have such an enthusiasm for making people's day perfect. That's something that really came across with the two women we spoke to already, and I'm sure it will with the next person we talk to.
Yeah.
From I don't want to ruin the surprise, so I'm not going to tell you how they save people's weddings because I want to leave that up to them. But
Some
it's
great true
a
life
great
wedding
stories,
stories. Yeah.
great stories. Yeah, we're all going to write a book someday when we don't need to work anymore.
Right.
No, I think people will be really surprised. I hope that, people planning their weddings in New Jersey, whether you're in New Jersey or in Colorado or Seattle or wherever you are, I hope you'll go to these websites and really see what's available, because it's not what you're going to expect. Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think you're really going to enjoy this interview with
Yeah,
Angelica from the Windsor Ballroom Holiday Inn in East Windsor, New Jersey.
sounds
Great
good.
getaway, too.
Yeah.
Go for the
Oh,
wedding, stay for the weekend.
stay. There's some great places down there. Sane Gardens you mentioned is gorgeous.
Right.
It's
And
like
I don't
so
think it's
fun.
too far from like the Princeton
No, not
area
at
and
all.
stuff.
No,
So
it's not far from Princeton. It's not far from Grounds for Sculpture. It's like you can have like a nice little destination getaway like right there.
yeah, yeah. So, all right, stay tuned for this great interview to find out all about the Windsor Ballroom and hear some real life wedding stories.
It sounds like fun, right? You're engaged. That is just great. But right after that excitement, stress can sneak in like a surprise RSVP. Traditional weddings are beautiful, but they can also be expensive and complicated and frankly a little overwhelming. What if your wedding could be everything you dream of, minus the drama? At NJ Vows Now, we believe your special day should reflect your unique love story, not some outdated list of rules. You can have all the wedding and none of the stress. We have sweet little parks and pretty gardens from the Hudson River to the Jersey Shore to the lush forests of the North and the West. We'll connect you with a curated network of amazing vendors who will understand your vision and respect your budget. We're all passionate, professional, dedicated to making your wedding a relaxed, unforgettable experience. Yes, you still need a license, but we can help you with that too. It's fast, it's easy, and you can still throw a big party later if you want. Doesn't that sound great? Of course it does. So just ditch the drama, vow to be different, and reach out to us at njvowsnow.com. We will have the confetti cannons ready. Hello, everybody. We are so happy to welcome Anjelica Chickara, who is the Director of Catering at the Windsor Ballroom in East Windsor. That's New Jersey, of course. She is the person who can help you go from completely overwhelmed to overjoyed in the planning process. It probably will not happen all at once. You'll be in both places, but she's going to be a great help to you all along the way. She's got great tips and great tricks for the big day, having done many, many weddings there, and I'm sure she's going to give you some things to really think about. So, talk to us.
Hi,
Hi.
ladies. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you
Oh,
for joining us. Thank you. I know I've been to the Windsor Ballroom before. I've had the pleasure to officiate weddings there before, and it is a beautiful space. And of course, it's located right there at the Holiday Inn, which is a bonus. So tell us
excellent.
about weddings at the Windsor Ballroom.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, it definitely is a good time to come back and see it. We've been renovated and had like a ballroom refresh not too long ago. So really
Nice.
kind of staying modern, yeah, and bringing a new
Very
feel to
pretty.
the ballroom so it feels nice and, refreshed.
It's
But
very
there's,
pretty.
yeah, there's gorgeous, chandeliers. We have a big, beautiful dance floor. We have a private courtyard for a ceremony space. So it's definitely a gorgeous venue to come and check out.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. I'm looking at the pictures now, and a lot of different spaces, places to take pictures, and really, really nice. And tell us what you. Oh, there's a bridge too. Ooh, how cute is that? Oh, I like that. That's Sane Gardens. Oh, you know what? The fact that you're near Sane Gardens is a really big bonus too, because that's so pretty over there.
Yes, yeah, we
Yeah,
are local to a lot of different places in the area. So
yeah,
if they wanted to go off site and take some photos, they
yeah.
can.
That's
But
great.
if they do want to, use a courtyard for photos, or we even have like this little gazebo area in the front that they can use for first look. So it's nice that they don't have to leave if they don't want to.
Right.
Right. I think it's, one of the big pluses, and we talk about this with, our places that, do have accommodations, is that your people are all there. Everybody's there. Your bridal party's there. You can get ready there. Is that what
Exactly.
most of your couples do?
Yes, yeah, I would say a huge portion of our clients are ones that they love the one-stop shop. So they love being on site and not having to leave. All their favorite people come, and then they really could even make a weekend out of it. There are times where you have your rehearsal dinner with us, then you
Mhm.
have your wedding, and then the next day they have a wedding breakfast, so everyone can get some good food before they hit the road again. So it really is the place where they can come and they don't have to leave.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
like
great.
that. That's such a benefit. That's such a benefit. And I love coming down the next morning, having the breakfast before everyone leaves. That's
Hmm.
beautiful.
I'm a huge breakfast person, so I stand by that even when I'm a wedding guest and I'm not necessarily working a wedding. I 100% love a good breakfast before I leave.
There you go. I like it too. I think there's something really very relaxing too about, having everybody it really is a destination wedding without a passport, you know? It's
Mm-hmm.
really,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great way to
Yes,
do
that's
it.
a good way to put it.
What are you seeing with your people that you're talking to for maybe the end of this year or next year? Are you seeing any trends or anything different than you've seen before?
I think, people are really kind of bringing in a lot of their own decor and making kind of like their style themselves. They're getting a little more confident in what they do. And as long as we have conversations and they're like, oh, no, this is good. Oh, I can bring this in, or oh, I can do this. They kind of get the understanding that they can create the day on their own with us in addition to that. So instead of necessarily working with a decorator or feeling that they have to bring someone in and they have to do all of these elaborate things, like they kind of realize as long as you add a little personal touch to everything, it's going to go a long way. So
I
that's what I
think
feel like I've seen with at least these brides.
I think we're hearing that a lot. We're seeing that a lot. The
Yeah.
personalization in everything, in their decor. Obviously, when we're creating ceremonies with them, they're personalizing it more. For to reflect them as a couple.
Mhm.
Photographers we speak to, they're talking about non-traditional photography, going away from that, that kind of traditional, these are the
Yes.
photos we have to
Yeah.
take, to personalizing it for them. This is what we enjoy, so let's have this in our photos. And music too, the non-traditional DJs are very popular. They're not walking down to those same 5 songs or that type of thing. They're really,
Right.
I know,
Oh,
they're
Last
thank
Dance
personal.
is no
you.
longer the last song.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Yes,
what I
I know.
like on the website for the Windsor Ballroom, which is it's a great website. It's very informative. It's not like, kind of secretive or anything. It has the wedding packages laid out, has the wedding packages.
Yeah.
It has another one for
Yes.
accessories. So to me, the accessories are another way that you can personalize it while staying in your budget, because of course budgets are real. So you can accessorize it from anything to from ambiance. You can get custom logos, or have that selfie photo station,
Mhm.
jeweled napkin rings, to extended affairs with extended cocktail hours or outdoor cocktail hours, or signature cocktails. And also the food upgrades, or add this specialty dessert or something
Yeah.
to it. So
And our food really is so good. I do have to say, our chef has been here for 20 years and he really is a very talented chef. And it's nice to know that it's really a wedding venue first, right? Because sometimes
right.
you can hear hotel and people kind of get this idea before they actually experience it, or they see it for themselves. But really, it's a wedding venue with accommodations attached. So that food has that same level of quality.
That's a great way to, I went to the accessories page and I went right to the food and libations because I want the bubble bar in my living room right now. Yeah.
I
Yes,
love
that's
that.
a fun one. That is a fun one.
Right now.
And
It just looks like so fun.
you talk about the food. This is reflected in the reviews. You have, many, many great
Yes.
reviews, and they mention the
Thank
food, and they
Mhm.
also mention there's a lot of reviews, Angelica, that mention you too. So you're really,
thank
you
you so
must.
much. I stand by them. I really do. I love my clients. I love my clients, and the work that I do for them is really important.
So tell us about
I-
how many people. What's the max amount of people, and then also on the other side, micro weddings. Tell us what you can accommodate.
Sure. I mean, I think that we really do try to cater to a lot of different couples, depending what their priorities are and what makes sense for them. We have weddings that are on the smaller side that can be a brunch wedding, a daytime wedding, afternoon wedding, and that pricing is reflective of that. And then if they want a larger occasion, right, with 200 or 225, like we can also accommodate that, a Saturday night feel. So we really try to kind of give them options across the board, depending on what would work for them.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's really important because we're seeing at least I am, I think, everybody I'm talking to in the industry, we're seeing people being interested in more intimate groups of people. And, it's good to be able to have that flexibility to be able to do a smaller group than, hundreds and hundreds of people. And to have,
Right.
I find a lot of our couples when they do smaller groups, doesn't mean they're all going to be small local groups. It's like we're getting married, but our family is in Florida or, Colorado. And so they still need that that accommodations point too.
Right. And I will say though, the one of the things that I really love to see is when we are sitting down and we're talking about the packages and budget and pricing, because I know that is a major concern for a lot of
Hmm.
clients. Seeing them being able to understand that they can, like if they want to, they can have a larger wedding, right? Because they come in thinking, okay, I
Hmm.
could only afford 40 or 50 people here. And then I'm like, well, if we do it this way, and then they realize, oh, I actually, okay, maybe I can invite my second cousins, it could be a little more inclusive. So it's nice to be able to see that too and give them that opportunity if that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Mhm.
I think it's so easy for people to come to New Jersey when they can do everything in one place like this. We were saying this the other day that, we have a page, we have a preferred vendors list, and you will be on it when we, when we do the website or next time we update it. And I think, a lot of our visitors are from all over the country, all over the world, planning
Right.
their weddings here. And,
Right.
to be able to have one person, that would be you, to plan everything with for, that after party, that rehearsal dinner, the actual wedding, the accommodations, don't need a shuttle. Yay. It's so easy for them. I think it would make it feel a lot just less stressful to be dealing with one person for all of those different events that go into a wedding weekend.
Right, very true. It's like that one contact. And that's what I try to tell them too. Like my sole job, though there's many, right, is alleviating as much stress from them as I can. I'm like, guys, I'm here in the process to make sure that though I know it can't be stress-free, we're at least going to do our best to lessen the amount of stress that you're going through. So please hand it to me. I got this. Like this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Tell us a funny story.
Yeah. Do you have a
Oh my
memorable
gosh.
story, a favorite wedding or something?
Oh my gosh, there are so many stories. I feel like I'm just waiting for the day to write the book, but
Yes. Right.
yeah, I think one of the classic just you can't make it up stories that have happened where they're like, wait, does that really happen to a wedding planner? Like, can that really? Yes, a bride can spill a Diet Coke all over her gown
Oh
right
God.
before the ceremony.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
And you just hear your name being yelled, like I'm like working on a few different things and then I just hear that voice and my name and I'm like, uh-oh, like what is going on? And so I go over and that's exactly what happened. There was Diet Coke all down the front of her dress.
Oh God.
And there is something that happens in that moment where, regardless of maybe internally the panic that there is on the outside, you show nothing. I'm like, okay, this is fine. Everything's fine. It's going to be great. And it took some seltzer, some shout wipes,
Oh
a
gosh.
dryer, and a lot of faith. And we got it out, and it was okay. And she went down the aisle looking pristine. Everything was good, but it was just one of those situations where you see it, and you're just like, "Really, universe? This is what we're doing before the ceremony? Okay."
I'm so surprised you were able to get it out. I've never tried
Yeah.
that. Diet Coke, that must leave like a shadow on it. I do know when we do uh Unity wine ceremonies, I always
Oh,
recommend
always white.
white. White, don't
Oh,
use the
right.
red. Do we really want to use red? No. During the ceremony, no. I don't want to be in charge of touching it. And then
Right.
wait, mental note from now on, the bride's drink has like the kids cup, the lid on
Like a
top with the
sippy cup.
straw.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I have that conversation with them. And I'm like, please just wait until the reception.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
That's so funny.
that's great. That's why you have the professional there, and you go
Exactly. I
into
feel like that
the
should be on my
mode.
resume. Can get Diet Coke out of dress.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? That's an important thing. It's
Mhm.
there's so many things that along the way that can be a little crazy. And having done
Right.
it, it sounds like you've been doing this for a while and you've probably seen
You
a
do.
lot of things more than
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, you go through, I think what's important is, at least in my experience, is you go through the experience and you really do learn from it, right? So you go through that and then okay, this is what has to change, or let me be aware of this moving forward. Like I think making sure you retain all that information so that you could avoid it from happening again is the most vital part of that.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I would say there was one other time, if you want to hear one other crazy
Yes.
story.
Love it. Uh-huh.
Um, and this was when it was really new. Like I think it was one of the first years I started. And we had a wedding, and the DJ was stuck in traffic.
Oh,
And I don't want all those brides listening to really freak out because we do figure it out. But he was stuck in traffic coming from Brooklyn, and he could not get here for the ceremony. And for me, like, ceremony is a huge, it's a huge part for me. And I know that you ladies would agree,
Yes, we
being
agree.
it's the
yes.
most important.
I really think it's just a beautiful portion of the day. But anyway, he couldn't get there for it. And so that means all of their recessional music wouldn't have played. Like, I don't know, what do you do, right?
Right.
So I worked with the groom. I got all of the songs. I added them to my phone. I found a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh my
See?
gosh.
And then literally timed it. So I play DJ sometimes too. Long story short, that can happen. So make sure you could also be a DJ.
Right.
There you go. Well, I feel like it's so good for people to have confidence in the people that they work with, because, and when I talk to couples about, specific venues and other vendors that I work with, it's like, I know that place, I know that person. There's nothing that can happen that is not going to be, they're going to know how to deal with everything, because there's a certain confidence that you get. It's like,
Right.
the next time somebody spills, an entire Shirley Temple down their dress with a maraschino cherry and everything, you're gonna, you know what to do.
Right.
And people that it's so great for the couples to come into their day not worried about, like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if you forget the hand fasting cords? Well, we have ribbon. We'll, like, deal with it. It's
Right.
Right.
it's just such a great feeling when they don't come in being nervous about the place that they picked.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Experience. It's experience. You can have all the training, the best training in the world, but it's
Mhm.
that experience that keeps you professional and not freaking out and like, okay, we can do this. We can fix this. Because I know we all have the stories. I have the couple who's forgot to ask their florist for the 2 roses for the mother, and the bride was like, sadly looked at her bouquet and said, I'll take them out of here. I said, no, you won't. We're going to go walk around this venue.
Right.
Yeah,
We'll find some somewhere. We'll be out
We
in the
will figure
garden
this
cutting
out.
them,
Yeah.
and
I know.
stuff.
We're out in front of the building cutting, like, the rhododendrons down. It's like,
Right, right.
nobody
And
needs to know.
we all know now to look at the best man or whomever's carrying the rings before they line up and say, you have the rings, because
Right.
Yeah.
we've had it where
Right.
they've had to run back to the bridal suite and get them. Or the bride who forgets, they're nervous. They're so nervous. And you see
Right.
them there at the end of the aisle, with their dad or whomever
Yeah.
walking them down the aisle, and they don't have their bouquet in their hand. It's like somebody's
Yes. Yeah.
don't
It's
get the
like in those
bouquet.
moments, they totally forget where they are. And you're like,
I
okay,
know.
let's bring you back down. Right.
Right.
We're okay. It's going to be
That's
okay.
it. I know.
Exactly.
So it's like that checklist we all have in our heads, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to put it as and I can't take credit for this. I believe it was Glennon Doyle who originally said it, but it's like you're the flight
Uh-huh.
attendant, and
Yeah,
everyone's kind of
true.
looking at you, and it's like what's going on the plane, and you have to just pass the peanuts and everything will be okay. You have eyes on
Yeah.
you, but that's the
I kind
important
of
thing.
like that.
Don't look out the window. There's nothing on the wing. Here, take the
Exactly.
peanuts, relax.
Everyone, you're okay. Here's your headphones, everything's good. We will land.
We got that. Don't look at the weather,
Exactly.
especially with weddings. Don't look at the weather. We got this.
Uh,
Yes,
We
100%. Yeah.
got it.
I know. I
Let
know.
me ask you to go back to not that I'm looking at all the accessories or the foods or whatever, but your list of accessories or add-ons. What are the most popular ones right now? Are there the top 2 ones that people always add on?
I would say people love dessert stations.
Mhm.
So there is
That's
something
true.
about adults turning into children once the cake comes out and the coffee comes out.
That's so true.
So they really do love, like, we have a s'more station, which is so good. It's like gourmet marshmallows that are ordered directly from our bakery.
Mm,
And they have like these little, fire sternos, and you kind of create this experience for your guests. So there's something that they're doing in addition to getting the dessert, right? So it's kind of fun. It creates that ambiance. So I would say dessert stations like that, that's the s'more station, or even during cocktail hour, adding on like our high tide station. So that's kind of a raw bar. It comes with an ice sculpture. So that's really
mm.
cool. So I noticed people adding on a lot of different like food more so than anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I think, anything you can do with food that's a little bit different, people just like talk about and they just love it. It's so
Yes.
great.
Yep, they'll
Yeah.
always remember it. Like you add
Yeah.
on a donut station and they made that donut, they're going to talk about that for the next 5 years.
No, see,
I like the
I want
signature
the
treat.
mozzarella bar. I want it right
Oh,
now.
yes.
I
Yep.
want it. It's so good. Oh my God. There's
I
so
meant
many fun things on here. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
choosing the
Yeah.
signature drink is fun, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I like that ours are seasonal too. So depending on the season,
Yeah.
you can choose, an apple sangria or something a little more fun
Mm,
around Christmas time. I think people like that customized feel.
Yeah, that's
that's
what I
fun.
was looking at, the fall ones.
This
So,
looks so good. We always say that when we usually record in the morning, and by the time we're done recording, we're like both starving because we've been talking about like wedding cakes and food and
Yes.
then pizza stations, and it's like, oh man, I'm so hungry now. Oh,
Right. I know. That's why I always feed my clients on their tours because I feel
that's
like
a
now
very
we're
good
sitting
idea.
down, we're going through food. How are you not starving? Because I know I am. So here,
Yeah,
please take some cheese and crackers.
it's a very good idea. Plus, it gets so you get to showcase your rice bowls and things like that. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The hors d'oeuvres are so good too. They really
Oh
are.
God, this looks really great. I'm really impressed. I was a caterer for a long time, and it really takes a lot to impress me, but I love these menus. They're like
Oh,
they're
thank
just so
you.
exciting. They're really very, very fun. I like it.
right.
Yeah. And
And
our,
the
our team
elegance,
does, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say that combined with the elegance of the ballroom, it's really makes for a
Mm.
beautiful, wedding. So, but go on.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I know they work hard as far as the menus and staying on top of what, clients like and what the trends are and everything. So it's nice to get that feedback. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very pretty.
As we head into engagement season, and then most couples, when they get engaged, one of the first things they do after deciding how many guests is venue is the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
How far out are you booking? Do you have 2025 dates available? You still booking for it?
Yeah, we definitely have some availability in 25. We're looking at 26.
Yeah.
Definitely looking into 26. And I even had an inquiry for 2027. So it really is based
What?
on the couple. I know sometimes there are longer engagements, but I would say
Oh my gosh.
most of our clients are, yeah, within 2020, the end of 2025, 2026 time. But if there are those, couples who want to book something in a shorter period of time, that happens too. So if anyone's interested in like a 4-month engagement, we've had that happen. So it could be across the board.
Yeah, chances are you
Interesting.
could have availability, especially if they're doing Thursday weddings
Yes,
are very popular now, or like you said, the brunch or
Yeah.
something like that. Um,
exactly.
could be
Thursday is
really
the new Friday. We are doing so many Thursdays. We're doing Mondays, not like holiday Mondays, just like normal old Mondays.
Right.
And why not? What the heck? It's like
yeah.
Yeah, as long
people
as
go
they're
out.
happy and everyone's there to celebrate, that's the important part.
Yeah.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
And do you have any number one advice for your couples when they're planning their wedding?
Yeah, I think that, the most important thing to remember is the reason why you're getting married and that you're
Mm,
there to celebrate each other and that you can be stressed out about all the different things that are going on, all the moving parts, all the opinions. Like I know that process is harrowing, but at the end of the day, you get to marry that person and that's the most beautiful part about it. So try to focus on that, and lean on each other when things get hard.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I really like that the Windsor Ballroom. I love the hotel combo because you've got the block. You're doing the block for the guests and the couple and all of that. It's all in one space. You're not dealing with you know trying to
Yes.
coordinate that.
Just come here and we'll take care of you on
That's
all fronts.
that's just like the best. And again, when we go to places that we know are taking care of their couples in that way, it makes everything so much better for all of us because I know my couples if they're, when they're in certain places, they're not going to be freaked out because nobody knows where the boutonnieres are or how to put them on, which nobody
Yes,
seems to know how to
I
do.
know that's a skill. I honestly
I
think
know.
every wedding professional should know how to do that. You're so right. I've found that to be true too.
Including myself. I just like I know it goes on that lapel, but I don't want to hurt you. You know?
I think boutonnieres make everyone nervous. It's the funniest
They do.
thing.
I'm so scared of breaking it. What if I ruin the boutonniere while I'm trying to get the
Right.
through, what if I break
Oh,
it,
you blame it on Aunt Sally hugging them too hard,
Right.
I think
I know. I had a florist show me once, and honestly, I was like, wow, this is a lot easier than we all think. It's
Right.
just you hook it right
Ah,
in there,
I've
but you wouldn't
watched a
know.
lot of YouTube videos training myself for it, right? And then,
Yes.
and
oh
then
my
once you
gosh.
get it on them, then you look at the groom and you say, please do not hug.
Do
You
not hug
Right.
anybody.
until
Please
Do
after
don't
not.
your
touch it.
photos are
Like, just
done.
don't touch it until the reception. Thank
Don't
you.
touch it. Don't touch it. Well, actually, some of my florists actually send an extra 1 or 2 boutonnieres just in case. 'Cause
Oh,
there's
that's
like
brilliant.
nothing sadder than a boutonniere that's like pointing down because it was squashed.
Yes. Yes. That's a very good point. That's a good idea on the florist end.
Except maybe maybe with that orange lipstick on the groom's cheek from somebody's aunt. That's kind of sad too.
Yes, we have our eyes on everything, all the things.
Isn't it funny the different hats and the things you notice when you go in
Yeah,
with the
really.
eye of that, making it all work? But that's great. And like I said, Angelica, you are in a lot of the reviews. All the
Oh, that's
couples,
great.
thank you
Thank
for your
you.
help and just rave about the food and and the venue itself. So I want to thank you for being here. I want to tell our listeners that a link to the Windsor Ballroom as well as to their Instagram will be included on our social media site, New Jersey Wedding Podcast. So you can go click on it and go right to their website and their Instagram and check
Mm,
them out and contact Angelica for
for
Yes,
a
sure.
tour.
please.
For sure. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. It was a pleasure, honestly.
Okay, hope to see you in the 2025 wedding season.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by New Jersey wedding officiant Andrea Pertel, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services.
And Celia Milton, owner of NJ Vows Now, also New Jersey wedding officiating services. We're up in North Jersey, and Andrea is down in Central and South Jersey. So together we cover the whole state, don't we?
Yes, yes.